Coming up on Double Take Sports Talk, we will update you with headlines and news, matchups to start off the week in the NBA. That is next. All right, this is it. Double Take Sports Talk with the Watch Brothers. Thank you for tuning in. Darrell, on the opposite side, say hello to Darrell to everybody.
Hello, welcome to the show. We're here.
We're here. All right, man. You doing good, man? How you feeling?
Doing good, man.
Okay, man. We got some things that we need to cover here this week in the NBA. Man, you ready to rock this one?
Let's do it.
All right, man. Let's do it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now we're at this portion of the podcast where we actually sit down and preview the upcoming games. And on the docket tonight is the Pacers and the Wizards. There will be a Bankers Life Fieldhouse tonight, 7 o'clock tip-off. And I believe the coverage is going to be on FS1. Yep, FS1. And then you got local radio 93.5 FM and AM 1070 The Fan. So, and with that being said, of course, the Pacers are coming off a loss last night against Cleveland. And the Wizards, I believe they also just came off a loss. I don't remember. Darn, Darren, you want to look that up for me real quick?
They didn't play last night.
Well, it was the other night. I can't remember which night it was. The last game that they played, I don't remember. I think they came off a loss.
Let's see. No, they beat the snot out of Oklahoma City Thunder.
Okay, yep, that's what it was. All right, so they came off a blowout win to the Oklahoma City Thunder. So
that was their. I think that was their 2 nights right there.
The Washington's?
Yeah, I think that was their 2 nights off.
Okay.
Or 3 nights.
Okay, so after putting together a 7-game winning streak, the Pacers has dropped its last 5 games and then followed back just 2 games above 500. And the last time that they met, Pacers and Wizards, the Wizards came out and won that game 112-107. Paul George had led all scores with 32 points. He went 12 for 23 from the field. Kevin Seraphin added 16 and 8 for 10 shooting and 7 rebounds off the bench. Now, if anybody, for the reason that the Pacers could win tonight, is him. So I wouldn't be surprised if Pacers pulled this off tonight, but I'm not going to say specifically. John Wall led the team with 26 points and 14 assists, and Bradley Beal added 20. And Markieff Morris and Marcin Gortat
Got to buy him.
Recorded double-doubles. Markieff Morris had 26 points, 10 rebounds, and Gortat had 14 points, 16 boards. Noteworthy, taking a look at some notes. The Pacers are 95 and 75 all time against the Wizards, including a 61 and 23 record at home. The Pacers is 3 and 8 on the season when playing on the second night of a back-to-back, but 3 and 3 when the second game of a back-to-back is at home. There, that just kind of gets.
What?
or how they keep track of little stuff like this.
Yeah.
Let me read that again. Indiana is 3-8 on the season when playing on the second night of back-to-backs, but 3-3 when the second game of a back-to-back is at home.
Man, they do. They do keep a little track of stuff like that. If you go to the team stats, they have all that. They have their record after 1 day's rest, after 2 days rest, after 3 days rest, after 4 days rest, after 5 days rest, and then 6 days plus. That's how they do it. They do. They do it.
And then the other stats that kills me, also that gets me, is they could be just for an example. They say, Jeff Teague. When Jeff Teague shoots off his right foot, the Pacers are 3-4.
They might.
They might. It's just crazy stuff like that.
They might, because they do sometimes do, in particular stuff where NBA player can score X amount of points inside the paint and be a certain amount of record doing that. Let's throw it out there.
Well, that was just an example. That I wasn't saying that it actually happened like that.
Well, not shooting off. Well,
next time
it probably can't happen.
It can, which is funny to me. But at any rate, Wizards center Yamahimi spent 4 seasons with the Pacers before signing with Washington last summer. And of course, after battling knee injuries for most of the season, Mahimi has played limited minutes in the Wizards' last 3 games. And this same note, I really don't need to read, but I will read again. Paul George is 3 steals shy of reaching 700 in his career, and Jeff Teague needs 7 to reach that same milestone. So,
very good.
Yeah. So that's the preview for tonight's game. Off to predictions, or whatever you want to do.
Before we even do the predictions, final scores from last night's game, February 15th. San Antonio and Orlando. San Antonio just gave the Orlando Magic a butt whooping 107-79. The San Antonio Spurs never trailed in that game, led as many as 30 points. Man, that's a tongue twister. They led by as many as 30 points. And then the Indiana Pacers, Cleveland Cavaliers in Cleveland. Cleveland pulled out that win, 113-104. LeBron James, Kyrie Irving, and Kyle Korver combined for 79 points. And then the Philadelphia 76ers and the Boston Celtics. The Boston Celtics pulled away with that fantastic win, 116-108. 2 notes for this game. Isaiah Thomas, of course, 40 straight 20-point game. And the Boston Celtics are 19 on the year. And then the Charlotte Hornets and the Toronto Raptors. The Toronto Raptors pulled away with a 5-point win, 90-85. The Toronto Raptors outscored the Charlotte Hornets by 22 points in the 4th quarter. And then the Milwaukee Bucks and the Brooklyn Nets. Brooklyn Nets lost this game 129-125. Brook Lopez is the first player with 8 blocks and 6 3-pointers in one game. Dallas Mavericks, Detroit Pistons. Dallas Mavericks pulled away with this. The Detroit Pistons pulled away with this win, 98-91. The Detroit Pistons outscored the Mavericks by 27 points in the first half. Then the Memphis Grizzlies, New Orleans Pelicans in Memphis. Memphis wins this game 91-95. They lost this game 91-95. The Pelicans limited the Grizzlies to 6 and 33 field goals on 3-pointers. Miami, Houston. In Houston, Miami pulled away with this win, 117-109. James Harden, 38 points, 12 rebounds, 12 assists. And just to note, Houston is 40-18 on the year. Minnesota, Denver. Minnesota pulled away with this win, 112-99. Andrew Wiggins, 40 points, and that's 81 over the past 2 games.
Keep up them type of numbers, it's going to be over.
Oh, yeah. And then the Portland Trailblazers and the Utah Jazz. The Utah Jazz wins this game 111-88. The Jazz scored 71 on 66% shooting in the second half. Then you had the Los Angeles Lakers and the Phoenix Suns. The Phoenix Suns pulled away with this win 137-101. Eric Bledsoe, 25 points, 10 rebounds, 13 assists. New York Knicks, Oklahoma City Thunder. Oklahoma City Thunder pulled away with this win 105-116. Russell Westbrook, 38 points, 14 rebounds, 12 assists. And then the Atlanta Hawks, Los Angeles Clippers. Clippers pulled away with this win. I was about to put their record as the score, 99-84. Golly. The Los Angeles Clippers forced 22 turnovers. 18 of them were steals. And lastly but not least, this game there that you thought that Sacramento had a good chance of winning, Golden State ended up winning this game 109-86. The Warriors took control with a 22-0 run in the third quarter.
Nothing to say. Nothing to say.
Then last night's final scores and stats. Any record breakers in that game?
In which game? The Golden State?
No, overall in the NBA.
With Russell Westbrook, with the numbers that he had, 38 points, 14 rebounds, and 12 assists, that was his 27th triple-double of the season. He has moved past Oscar Robertson for third all-time for most triple-doubles in a season. And, of course, as you mentioned, Darren, with Brook Lopez, became the first player in NBA history to record 8 blocks, or 8+ blocks, and 6+ made three-pointers in a single game. And, of course, you also mentioned Isaiah Thomas, his 40th straight 20-point game. He has tied John Havlicek for that most consecutive 20-plus point games in team
and
history.
He's rooting for him to break that record.
He better.
He's rooting for him, like
he
break
better.
that record.
Oh yeah, he better. He better. He's probably like about time some competition.
Yeah, ain't that in?
And I'm quite sure that's what he's thinking too.
Yeah.
So let's see. Of course, as you mentioned, Darren, with Kyle Korver, he became the 7th player in NBA history to make 2,000 three-pointers. And the Cleveland Cavaliers, they are 23-5 home record, is good for second best in the league. And I think the Spurs is the first.
Good question. I think the
Spurs are first. I'm not sure.
That's a very good question. I haven't
find that out. I'm just going to keep reading. Okay. Andrew Wiggins shooting 55% from the field and 46% on three-pointers over his last 5 games, which is pretty phenomenal. Eventually, that's not a record, but that's just good to mention. I don't even know if I want to say this one. They're just talking about LeBron James is the NBA All-Star leader in career points, scored at 291.
Okay. It is not San Antonio.
Okay, who is it?
Golden State.
Golden State. Okay. All right, fair enough. Of course, that's all going into the All-Star game. Kevin Durant is the All-Star career leader in scoring average, which is 26 points a game. And of course, if we went back to Andrew Wiggins, after he had 41 points last night, he is tied for the second most 40-point games with 3 in the season for the Timberwolves. That's team history. $40 points, 12 rebounds, and 8 assists from last night's game. Sorry, that was for DeMarcus Cousins. That was from the other night. Went too far down. But yeah, that's also good to know from the other night that he actually 40 points, 12 rebounds, 8 assists. So, stat of the night from the other night. There you go. There you have it.
DeMarcus Cousins is going to be he going to be interesting.
Yeah, he's going to be very interesting.
It's going to be interesting.
It's going to be very interesting.
Yeah. So now that we got that out the way, let's go ahead and take a look at the records and all this good stuff going into tonight's game. The Washington Wizards and the Indiana Pacers at Bankers Life Fieldhouse. Is that correct? Yeah, Bankers Life Fieldhouse. Mm-hmm. Going into this game, just the basics. Pacers are 5-5 in the last 10 games. Washington is 9-1 in their last 10 games. Pacers is 20-9 at home, and Washington is 9-14 on the road. That's going to be a very interesting matchup on the behalf of the home away record for both sides.
Mm-hmm.
And considering the previous matchup, the last time, I believe it was February 10th, looked like. Yeah, February 10th. I believe that's right. Yeah, February 10th. The Pacers won 112-107. The Wizards out.
No, the Wizards won.
Oh, they won. Okay, you're right. Yep.
Yeah, they won.
112-107. The Wizards out rebounded them. They distributed the ball evenly. They stole the ball more, and they had their fair share of turnovers. But Washington was able to capitalize off of that more than the Pacers were able to do that. They both fairly shot pretty evenly on the field. Pacers' three-point shots was not falling, but their free throws was falling. Their Washington's three-pointers was probably one of the reasons why that they won the game, despite missing most of their free throws.
Mm-hmm.
Paul George was the leading scorer, 31 points for the Pacers, with John Wall 26, Al Jefferson 8 rebounds, and Machan Gotai led the way in rebounds with 16. Jeff Teague led the team with 9 assists, and John Wall with 14. I believe you shared all that, I believe.
Yes, I did. Very well.
And then going into tonight's game, just taking a very quick look, Washington and the Pacers almost fairly evened out for tonight's game.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah, they pretty much evens out. So this is going to be a battle of revenge for the Pacers. After taking a look at this, Darrell, your prediction, who do you have in tonight's Wizards-Pacers game?
Well, it's pretty much been about the stats are even, and it's been about the home record and the road record. Washington's not doing too good. Pacers doing good at home. That's where Pacers dominate the most at home. So last game, Washington won. They had a good home record. The Pacers had the worst road record. So everything could be in the reverse of everything. So I believe the Pacers could pull this one out tonight.
I agree. I believe the Pacers would be able to pull this out tonight. Washington was 24-7 at home. It is 24-7 at home.
Mm-hmm.
And that's probably one of the reasons why that they won, because they got a good home record with a good home fan base. So, yeah, I agree. I believe the Pacers could pull this win out tonight in revenge. This is all about home court advantage, and the Pacers have it tonight, and I believe they will.
No doubt.
Tonight.
No doubt. I'm with it. Nothing more to be said about that. I agree.
Yep.
Okay. Final thoughts. Darren, is there anything that you want to share before we get up on out of here?
Andrew Wiggins.
Uh-huh.
Be careful. He is very overlooked right now. Keep your eyes on Andrew Wiggins. If you need a sleeper, he'll be a good one for your fantasy.
I agree, Darren. I agree without a doubt. And I also forgot to mention one thing. I meant to throw out the injury reports and the starters, projected starters, I should say. The injury report, Pacers have Thaddeus Young, of course, he's out with a sprained left wrist. Lavoy Allen is questionable with a sore right knee. He is not in the lineup, but that does not mean he will get to play. So he might be limited or he may not play at all, but we'll see how that works out. And the Wizards have no injuries to report. Don't be like the Seattle Seahawks.
Okay.
Anyway, so the projected starters that they got for tonight's game, they have for the Pacers, they have Jeff Teague and Glenn Robinson III as the 1 and 2. Paul George and Kevin Seraphin is 3 and 4, and Miles Turner is the 5 center spot. For the Wizards, they have John Wall, Bradley Beal, of course, the 2 duo combinations of 1 and 2. Otto Porter Jr. and Markieff Morris as the 3 and 4, and Marcin Gortat with the 5 center spot. And that is the starting lineup and injury reports that I forgot to report.
That is as of 11:31 with this recording in the morning.
Yes, absolutely. Okay. Darren, anything else you want to
Nope.
necessarily add to this?
Nope.
All right. So this is the Pacers' last home game and last game going into the All-Star break. So this is everybody is really shifting their attention to the All-Star weekend, and
Considering that
gotta
there's only 2 games tonight, that's really going to just show
right.
nobody's not really even worried about these 2 games because they're worried about Friday, Saturday, and Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
NBA players themselves are worried about that 4-day break.
Oh yeah, I would be too.
Mm-hmm.
I would be too. They give people that's injured to give them time to heal a little bit, kind of get their minds off the rehabbing and all that. So that'll
Take a chill pill.
take a chill pill. Absolutely. Okay, if there's nothing else to add on here, we'll go ahead and wrap this one up.
Yep, let's do it.
All right. That is another edition of DTST with the Watch Brothers. If you like what you see, get a video a thumbs up. Anything that you want to add, do that on the comment section below. Comment below, as always. We're here to do that, so don't be shy about doing it. So, until then, I'm Darrell. Darrell on the opposite side.
Of course. You got it.
All right. Catch up with us on another one of DTST. Until then, ciao.
Ciao.
This is Double Take Sports Talk with the Watch Brothers. I'm Darrell Watts. If you enjoyed the podcast and would like to see more, check out our videos on YouTube. And while you're there, subscribe, like, and share our videos. We don't mind. We're also on the social media side where you can catch up on the latest news and developer stories and different stat information. Follow us on Twitter at DTST2414. Or you can follow me, Darrell, at Loved University, and follow Darren also at Darren Watch 14. We're on Facebook also, Double Take Sports Talk page at the Watch Brothers. Darren's is Darren Watts on Facebook, and I am myself, Darrell Watts II on Facebook. We got the blog feature critical thinking and analysis, so you can check that out at doubleTakeSportsTalk.blogspot.com. Thanks again.